Awesome. Okay. Give us a second and apologize for being late. We had some technical difficulties on our side, but we are here right now. So welcome. Hello and welcome to Mindful Trinity, and I am your host Vaisnavi Carana. So today's topic we're going to be discussing on healing the mind by healing the body by healing the mind. Our guest is a certified NLP practitioner. So NLP basically means neuro-linguistic programming. She's also a life coach and holds a BCom honors degree in industrial psychology. A passion and strength lies in transforming the lives of people by changing the way they think. She has authored a journal called A Journey Within for teenagers, which is a self-development workbook that helps teenagers deal with the many challenges that they experience and to also help them unleash their inner potential. She has worked with children from various areas in Johannesburg, such as Soweto, Eldorado Park, and Marlborough Gardens. She is also the chairperson of Santan Vaisnavi Sangha. It is basically a forum whose mission is to promote the culture of open-hearted empowerment for women. And she's also the chairperson for Food for Life Santan. So please join me in welcoming our guest speaker for today. Her name is Angie Rambaran. By welcoming her, I mean, because we're virtual, so you can actually share this live stream on your social platforms. Give us a like, a love, a care. Use all the social emoticons that you can resonate with positively. And if you have any questions for her regarding the topic, which is heal the mind, heal the body, healing the body, and you healing the mind together. So you can actually type in all of your questions for her in the comment section of this video. And once we're done with this talk, with our discussion, she will be able to answer them for you. So again, welcome, Angie. We are so grateful that you accepted our invite, and just being here, your presence is very, very beneficial to all of us, and we are really grateful that you are here with us. So thank you once again.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Good evening to everyone, and thank you for joining in today. And thank you, Vaishnavi, for having me on your program. It's such a pleasure to be here with all of you this Wednesday evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you once again. So I would actually take a little while to, because I'm actually muting as you're speaking as well, just to avoid any noise from my end. So please, viewers, be patient with us as well. We'll really appreciate that. Okay, let's start for today. Angie, how can one use the subconscious mind to heal the body and prevent illness? Because I mean, sometimes in our day-to-day lives, we accumulate so much, and it does affect us, even when we sleep. So what advice do you have on how can we overcome that?
Okay. Many people believe that they have no control over their body or how their bodies respond to infection, illness, and disease. But what we fail to realize is that we have a powerful force within all of us that can heal our bodies better than any medicine can. This powerful force is our subconscious mind, which holds a limitless source of knowledge given to us by the creator of the universe. So the subconscious mind controls all the vital functions and processes of our body, and it knows the answer to all our problems. It controls the circulation of your blood, It regulates your digestion, your assimilation, and elimination. So before we discuss how to heal the body, let's establish what is the cause of all the sicknesses in our body. So our thoughts are the cause of whatever happens, and the conditions are the effect. So what do I mean by that? Whatever happens to us is because of the thought which created it. That is the cause. And the actual sickness is the effect of that thought. So for an example, if someone has ulcers, it's their thought that created that ulcer, and that ulcer is an effect of those thoughts. Our mind is divided into two distinct components. That is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And they both have completely different functionalities. So I'm going to use an analogy for you to understand this better. Our conscious mind is like the captain of a ship. It directs and sends signal to the men in the engine room, who in turn control all the gauges and instruments in the ship. So the men in the engine room obey his instructions because he's in charge. And the crew just simply carry out the orders of the captain. Similarly, your conscious mind is the captain and master of your body, environment, and all your affairs. So your conscious mind gives instructions to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind takes the order you give it based on what your conscious mind believes and accepts as true. So if you think negative, destructive, and vicious thoughts, then these thoughts generate destructive emotions, which must be expressed and find an outlet. These emotions, being of a negative nature, are frequently expressed in the body as ulcers, heart problem, tensions, and anxieties. So we injure ourselves by the negative thoughts which we entertain. So how often have we wounded ourselves by getting angry, being fearful, jealous, or vengeful? These are the poisons that enter our subconscious mind, and this is the biggest cause of all the sicknesses that we endure. So the life that we are living is the one that we created. Our thoughts become our words become our actions, and our actions become our reality. So when your mind is mentally disturbed, it affects all parts of your body. And no matter what medication you take or which doctor you go to, you will not be able to get to the root of the problem and heal yourself completely, because it all started in the mind. So there are many ways in which we can heal our body through the mind. Firstly, we need to establish what is causing the problem. What are we stressing about? Where is this coming from? And look at reasons for why this is happening. So from every bad situation, there's something good, the lesson that we need to learn. When we learn that lesson, then we release our hold on this negative experience or challenge, and we are on our way to recovery. So let me give you an example. I was helping a client who had a back problem for a while. And when she came to me, I asked her, when did this problem start? What happened before this? Because something must have triggered this for this to happen. And she mentioned that her back pain started just after she lost her mom. You see, her mom was part of her support structure. And when her mom died, she felt that she had no support. And hence, she had that excruciating pain in her back. So now that she realized that her mom's passing was the trigger for her back pain, so then we looked at this negative experience in a positive light. She then realized that after her mom passed on, she had grown and she had become more independent and a stronger person and was capable of doing so much more than she ever did before. And through those realizations, she had made peace with her situation and set herself free, and the pain in the back subsided. So if we establish what the stresses are in our life, where it's coming from, and how it has helped us to become better in our life, then we will be able to release the negative hold it has on us and achieve our normal state. So if our thoughts have created our illness, then similarly, our thoughts has the power to help restore our body to its natural state again. This is just one way of healing yourself. The other is through the power of your subconscious mind and having firm faith that you will be healed and would overcome the illness that you're currently undergoing. See, if you think this thought in your conscious mind, then your conscious mind sends this thought to your subconscious mind. Like we were discussing the men in the engine room, they did not question the orders of the captain. Similarly, the subconscious mind does not question what the conscious mind tells it. It just accepts the order and acts accordingly. So many of us believe that generally priests have healing powers. And if you go to them, then they'll be able to cure you of your sickness through prayer. Also, I've seen many campaigns where they say miracles happen. So do you know what it is that cures you of your sickness? It's not the priest, but your belief in them and in their ability to help you. That is what cures you. So if you have the same faith and belief in yourself that you are able to cure yourself of the sickness, then miracles will happen in your body. So I'm going to share a true story with you to emphasize the power of the subconscious mind. There was a man who was suffering from tuberculosis, and his son decided to visit him at home in Australia and wanted to heal his father. So he told his father that he met a monk who had just returned from the shrines in Europe and who sold him this healing cross for $500. In all actuality, he had picked up a piece of wood from the sidewalk, took it to the jeweler to have it set on a ring, which really looked genuine, and told his father that anyone who just held or touched that ring would be healed of whatever illness. He got his father's hopes all up and just went on speaking about the power of the cross and the miracles that can happen. The father was so excited that he immediately grabbed the cross from his son's hand and placed it on his chest and fell off to sleep. The next morning, he was healed. It was not the cross that healed him, but it was his faith in that cross that was aroused to an intense degree, plus his confident expectation of recovery. It was the union of his imagination together with his firm faith that brought about that healing. So from the story, we can see that we have unlimited power within us that has not been tapped. And once we tap into this powerhouse, miracles can happen in our life. We would have the ability to manifest anything and everything, not only good health. So does that answer your question, Vaishnavi?
Yes, it does. And it's actually such a beautiful story and very, very well put. A lot of us, especially in challenging circumstances, we fail to realize that we do have the power within us to overcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to overcome anything. And but it also comes down to association. But anyway, I'm not going to give you too much about everything that I'm going to be discussing with you. And you're going to be sharing all of your knowledge with us. Yeah, again, it is we are a powerhouse full of these positive vibrations, waiting to come out, but we need to unleash it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you. Also, how does positive thinking or positive attitude impact the body?
We've all heard about the power of positive thinking,
Mm-hmm.
but what we have not heard of is the power that those positive thoughts can have on our physical health and environment. Positive thinking is a mindset that helps with stress management and can even improve one's state of health. You've probably had people tell you, look on the bright side of life, or to see the cup as half full instead of half empty. It's quite likely that those people who make these comments are positive thinkers. People who have a positive mindset, they live healthier and less stressful lives, and they have greater overall well-being. So every one of us will experience setbacks sometime or other in our life. But what is important is how we deal with these setbacks. It's not so much the situation or challenge that affects us, but rather the meaning that we attach to it. That is what affects us. As we mentioned earlier, that our thoughts, our words, and our actions create our reality. So you can see everything begins with a thought. You heard the famous adage, as you sow, so shall you reap. So let's compare our mind to other seeds. So if we plant rose seeds, what plants do we expect will grow? Naturally, rose plants, right?
Yes, of course.
We can't plant rose seeds and expect daffodils to grow.
Yes.
But then, why can't we apply the same to ourselves? When it comes to us, we think differently. We plant seeds of negative thoughts in our mind, and then we expect a positive outcome. And when we don't get that outcome, then we tend to get upset with people, with the environment, with God, with the universe, etc. Nature is such a wonderful teacher, but no, we think that it only applies to nature. It's not applicable to us. It's such a simple scientific principle. As you sow, so shall you reap. So if we keep planting negative thoughts in our mind, how can we expect a positive outcome? So if you want a positive outcome, then we need to think positive thoughts. When we focus on good thoughts, our brain produces chemicals such as serotonin, endorphins, dopamine, and oxytocin. Chemicals can cause depression, anxiety, psychological disorders, and the list goes on. So whatever happens in the mind affects the body. So when facing a health crisis, actively cultivating positive emotions or positive thoughts can boost the immune system and counter depression. Studies have shown that there's a link between a positive outlook and health benefits like lower blood pressure, less heart disease, better weight control, and healthier blood sugar levels. Even when faced with an incurable illness, positive feelings and thoughts can greatly improve one's quality of life. Should I just share a few benefits of positive attitude to the people?
Yeah, please do, because I actually, before you actually share that, I wanted to ask you, how can one remain positive in a negative situation? And maybe after that, you can actually share the benefits of positive thinking or positive attitude.
Okay. How can you remain positive in a negative situation?
Yeah.
When something negative happens, we try not to absorb the negativity.
Mm-hmm.
We can change our state of mind. We can change our state of mind to something positive. Because when you change your state of mind, then it shows on your body as well. You can't change your state of mind and think happy thoughts and then a sad expression on your body. It just doesn't gel. So when you change your state of mind to think something positive, or think about, okay, something bad happens, and then you get drawn down by this situation. But if you think of what the outcome you want, how you want to grow, how this is going to benefit you, what is the lesson that we need to learn, and you think positive thoughts, and you think, focus your energy onto something positive, then you change your state of mind, and the negative situation doesn't have that impact on you anymore. So you change from the negative to the positive.
Yeah,
is that okay with you?
Yeah, I actually do like that. I was actually also thinking about the same negative thinking or a negative situation. Say, for instance, we had some sort of quarrel with someone that is actually quite close to us, or maybe someone is not that close to us, but we sort of engaging with them quite often. What I also learned in my own experiences, when you had some sort of fallout with this person, instead of actually causing more of a negative impact on their life, because it's also affecting you, think of maybe 10 things that you are grateful for to that person, something good about them. And that will automatically fall into your life. And so you actually doing the mind shift.
Yes.
So gradually you'll become this positive self that you always used to be, and not be tormenting yourself or not being affected by negativity, because it's very easy to fall into negativity. So yeah, that's why.
Also, if you have a fallout with someone, try to understand, where is this coming from? What's the reason for this? What is it that I need to learn? Because these people are like teachers in our life.
Yeah, wow.
They're teaching us a certain lesson. So try to establish, what is it that I need to learn from this person? What is it that I need to learn from the situation that will help me to grow and evolve?
Okay, very nice, very nicely put. I think we all need to learn from that, and also in our day-to-day lives, whoever we actually come into contact with, think about that before causing any sort of discomfort in your life and theirs, and always having that in the back of your mind. It's like being conscious of every word, every deed, every action that you actually perform. So you actually in the moment, you actually present, instead of being, having your mind elsewhere, but your body in that place. So yeah. Maybe now
share the benefits of the positive attitude.
Thank you.
Okay. So by having a positive attitude, it helps reduce the effects of stress, so that you manage stress and stress doesn't manage you. It can also boost your immune system, which helps fight viruses, improves cardiovascular health, and helps you to make better life choices. It also creates an opportunity for you to see a greater purpose in the experience and gain wisdom. As I just said, from everything we learn, there's lessons that we need to learn. So even if we look back at the stories that I've just shared, how by looking at things from a different perspective, it gives you a different meaning, a different result, and it helps you to grow. So even it increases your resilience. You'd be able to have the stamina to get up and continue every time you fall. And it just makes you stronger and stronger. And it sends these positive messages to the body, promoting healing. So which is what we're all discussing, how we can heal the body through the mind. So by having that positive attitude and thinking positive thoughts, it helps you in healing that body.
Very nice. Very interesting. I'm already so engrossed. So with that being said, does our surrounding, in terms of our environment and the association that we keep, impact our mind? Yeah, and if so, what advice do you have for us? Because sometimes it's difficult for us to change our environment if we in a certain environment with family members and things like that. Also association. I know sometimes it's easier said than done. You can change your association, but sometimes it's difficult, especially if they are family members. So you can't really change that surrounding. But
Yes.
what advice do you have for us in that matter?
Okay, let me just give you some information first and then I'll share advice, right?
Okay.
Our environment in association molds us to the people that we are with regards to our value system, our culture, and the way we do things. But it should not impact our mind. The only way it would is if we allow it to. We have a mind of our own, and then with that mind, we have the ability to make the right choices and decisions in life. You see, it's not the environment so much or the people that impacts us, but it's the meaning that we attach to the events, how we interpret what happens. And that's what shapes us to who we are today and who we will become tomorrow. So let's look at an example right at home. You have two siblings exposed to the same environment, same association, exactly the same circumstances. But as adults, their lives are completely different. They choose different paths, and it's their perspective on life that influences their choices. You remember earlier we spoke about seeing the cup either as half full or half empty. It is that perspective that determines the level of success they achieve. So many people will go through life blaming their parents, their siblings, their boss, the politics, or anyone or anything else for that matter. But why do we blame? We blame because it's so much easier to pass the buck than to actually take responsibility for our actions. So if we have to take responsibility, then it means hard work. We need to work on ourselves. But instead of working on me, then what do? We just blame others. But that does not solve the problem. So often we think others are the problem in our lives. But in actuality, they are the solution to the problem within us. Life is a school on earth, and we're constantly being tested by different people that come into our life. And these people are our teachers. We test it first, and then the lesson learned. And if we fail the test, the universe will continue to test us using different people. These tests that we go through are there to help us to grow and evolve. Therefore, it has nothing to do with the other person. It has everything to do with us. So going forward, when you experience a challenge, try to look at it from a different perspective. Instead of playing victim, try to unpack the challenge and understand what is the lesson that we need to learn. What is this teaching you? How can we grow from this? As I mentioned earlier, from every bad thing that happens, there's always something good that comes of it. So let's look for the good in it. I want to share a little story. Is it okay if I share it?
Yes, please do.
So I just want to share the story to explain what I'm talking about. There was a king, and he had a minister who was his advisor. And he'd always seek counsel from the minister about everything. So one day, by accident, the king cut his finger. And so naturally, he went to his minister and shared his plight with him. So the minister innocently said to him, "You never know, it just might be good that this happened." So the king was very upset. How could his minister say that by him cutting his finger, it was good? So he called his guards and told them, "Throw him into prison." The next day, the king had to go hunting. And since his minister was in prison, he went alone. So he went deep into the jungle and was caught by some dacoits, and they wanted to sacrifice him to their god. But just before sacrificing him, they noticed that his finger was cut. And they set him free, saying that they do not offer reject goods to their god. He was overjoyed, got back on his horse, raced back to the castle, and set the minister free. For now he understood what the minister meant when he said it was good. Then he asked the minister, "Okay, that was good that my finger was cut and I was saved. But then what was good about me putting you into prison? Seeing that you said there's something good about everything that happens. So the wise men, and I am completely okay. They would have sacrificed me to their God. So it was good that you imprisoned me. So from the story, one can see that nothing happens without reason. Everything that happens for your own good or for your growth. We just need to change the way we look at things. Like how Mahatma Gandhi said, I quote, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So does that answer?
Yeah, very, very lovely. Very informative. So thank you for all of the knowledge and helping us to shift the mind. So that's what we did today. Thank you. I'm very, very grateful for that. So just to recap our conversation for today, unless you have anything further to add.
Okay, I just want to share some parting information.
We'll do that at the end. We'll do that at the end.
Okay.
I just want to recap and also to check whether our viewers have any questions for you. So
Okay.
we're not letting you go so fast.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So we started off by you talking about the relationship of the conscious mind with the subconscious mind and how everything is actually interrelated. We also spoke about negative thoughts, how it causes illnesses and illnesses, sicknesses, and diseases within the body.
Correct.
Sickness starts in the mind, and a lot of us actually fail to realize that we are the cause of most of our problems.
Yes.
Every bad situation as something good. I actually do like that, and I need to remember that over and over again. Get to the root of the problem. There's always a root of every problem. We just have to get to the root of it. And I think with that, we have to be more aware and more attuned with our inner self.
Correct.
Tap into our power. We all have the power within. But again, some of us actually become very lazy during the course of our life. We become so complacent that we forget that we do have the power to make a change, and it does start with us.
Correct.
Positive thinking, live a healthier and happier life with our words, thoughts, actions, which becomes our reality in actual fact. Change the state of the mind. That's a mind shift. Fallouts with various people are basically teachers in our life. So the people that we have fallouts with are our teachers. We just need to see them in that way. I guess during the actual fallout, during the heated argument, we would not be able to see it. And I think that's when we need to take a step back and evaluate it. And you know what? Sometimes, okay, take for instance, you driving on the streets of South Africa. And sometimes it is a challenge with our taxi drivers and things like that. But they are also our teachers. And we just need to look at them like that if they're causing some sort of discomfort to us, especially if we need to get to work at a certain time. I'm not sure whether a lot of us are already going out to work. Most of us are working from home, so we're actually saving on that. But when we're actually on the road and having these encounters with certain individuals, we don't look at it that way. But I hope after watching this, when you do go onto the road, you actually remember this talk and take a step back and not get caught up in, high stressful situations where you actually stress yourself more than anything else. The environment and association molds us, but it should not impact our mind. And sometimes bad things happen. Whatever bad things do happen, they actually a blessing to us. They are actually a blessing, but we just need to see it from that point of view. Am I right in saying that?
Correct.
Okay. Awesome.
As I said, from every bad thing, there's something good. We just need to change the lens in which we look at it.
Yes.
Because we're so conditioned.
Yes, exactly. We are very conditioned, and that's how we become complacent. And it's very easy to become complacent because most of us are very spoiled. I mean,
Yes.
I was actually living in Johannesburg alone for so many years, and now I come back to my family here in Durban, and I'm actually spoiled because my parents they actually do everything. So yes, and when we're actually so used to that way of living, we do become complacent. We take the small things